Chicago with the win over the Titans. The Bears, again, down by 3 scores in the first half, and they shut down the Titans from there on, spoiling the debut for Tennessee, their head coach Brian Callahan, as Will Levis rode the Vomit Comet in glorious fashion for the Tennessee football team. But let us discuss the question, what are your first impressions of Caleb Williams in Chicago? So I've got the Beatles, Home Depot, and flavor of the day. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will make a direct cash deposit is what we're going to make right into your bank account. So, number one. Caleb Williams looked overwhelmed. He looked overwhelmed on my TV. Now, this comes with the territory. Life supposedly comes at you fast in the NFL. And all of these quarterbacks sucked at a time you cannot suck, and I'm fine with it. These guys have to play. You have to get past that point. There's a certain point of demarcation where you need to find out whether they can get better. But these are part of the growing pains, something that the Patriots are not experiencing right now with Drake May because they're cowards and they're not playing Drake May. You're telling me Drake May with New England couldn't have handed the ball off 50 times in that game in Cincinnati? They would have won the game also. But in terms of Caleb Williams, as we started with Caleb Williams, and my first impressions of Caleb Williams, overwhelmed, as I said, struggled with the basics, and he went out and was about what I thought he would be. He's actually a little worse than I thought he was going to be. Trying to get a drink of water, and there's a fire hose shooting water right in your face, right in your schnoz. You're trying to drink it, and Williams was garbage. He failed to complete any pass longer than 13 yards. I didn't play quarterback in the NFL, but I don't think that's good. And he had a yawn-inducing 93-yard afternoon. Chicago's offense had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. How about 6 punts? 3 field goals, 2 of those after Tennessee turnovers on a short field. So how did the Bears win this game without a quarterback? How did they win? Well, they used the old Beatles tune, with a little help from my friends. The Chicago defense dominating the second half with a wink and a nod to the quarterback for the Tennessee football team, who decided to take things into his own hands, though. And they certainly, Caleb Williams got a bunch of help here. The Titans folded up. The Bears' defense was good, but they also got some help here. So the Titans folded up like a cheap beach chair with Lizzo on it there. And how bad was it? A Will Levis, wounded duck. I would have rather had a jar of creamy mayonnaise playing in the second half than the quarterback for the Titans there, as he disintegrated in front of our eyes in the second half. Horrible. But you can go through all the numbers there, and all Tennessee had to do was nurse the lead. That's it. 17-point lead, nurse the lead. They don't have any offense at quarterback there, Chicago. And Will Levis, was he 10 of 17, 60 yards, and 2 interceptions in the second half. He averaged 3.5 yards, and this is not his rookie season there, as the pratfall of pratfalls for the Tennessee quarterback. But you mix in a blocked punt, which was also returned, special teams for Chicago. They got the score, and it was the perfect storm for the Titans, who were looking good, looking pretty good, right? Looking solid, and then they had to play the rest of the game. So with the win, Caleb Williams becoming the first number 1 pick, despite sucking, the first number 1 pick to win in week 1 of his rookie year since David Carr, a generation ago in 2001. Now, page 2. How would you rate Jaydendaniels' debut with the Washington football team? Washington, they took it in the schnoz there in their game. Washington playing Tampa Bay, and this game not close at all.
Never heard of them.
They called the Buccaneers, the Bucks and whatnot. But Tampa wins that game 37-20. It was 16-7 at half, but the Bucks were in control. If you saw the game, you know what I'm talking about. So, how would you rate Jaydendaniels? Well, in terms of head and the other quarterbacks, the other rookie quarterbacks, he was head and shoulders above the other quarterbacks. He had the fattest box score. For whatever that's worth. Had 88 yards on the ground, a couple of scores on the ground, 184 yards through the air. Those numbers seemed a little inflated to me. watching the game, I did not sense that he was playing all that well. But again, the standard is low. The bar is low when you're comparing him to the other rookie quarterbacks. Daniels scored on 2 touchdown runs from the goal line on quarterback keepers. Both came on the option play there, and he did fatten up some stats in the fourth quarter with the game already in control. Now, the final point, the other quarterback, the other rookie to start. Give me your reaction to Bo Nix and his first start as the Broncos played in Seattle. So we were wondering what we were going to get. I was optimistic. I admit, I was optimistic. I was like, okay, he's not that bad. He's not going to be as good as he was in the exhibition season. He was Mr. August. He dominated August. Unfortunately, those games don't count. He was wonderful. Mr. Practice quarterback, ideal, against a Seahawk defense, which I have in the middle of the NFL. Not near the top. They're in the middle. They're not the worst. They're not at the top. They're somewhere in the middle. Bo Nix, the flavor of the day on the menu for Sean Payton was dead meatloaf. That was Bo Nix in this game. My God. I mean, you talk about having stage fright. You thought Tom Brady was bad. Bo Nix, whee, man. Did not matter. No matter how much Sean Payton tried to coach him up, it didn't matter. Bo Nix finished with just 138 yards. That's it on 42 attempts. Yeah, and the majority of the completions, 26 completions, coming just a few yards either behind the line of scrimmage or in front of the line of scrimmage, but it was bad. And the game was right there. And that's the maddening thing if you like the Broncos. I got no skin in the game. I did have the Broncos on the TV show for whatever that's worth, but Bo Nix, oh my God. The Bo Show. He averaged somehow 3.3 yards per pass. That was the popular number there. Half the sign of the devil. 3.3 yards per pass there, and took him 34 pass attempts to get to 100 yards. I didn't play in the NFL, but I'm told that's not good. I'm told that's not what you're looking for. And these are, again, part of the growing pains. But you look at how terrible Seattle played, and they tried to give you the game, and you couldn't take it. You couldn't get it done. The Seahawks had not one but 2 safeties. Their offensive line wasn't able to block. They were holding guys in the end zone in this. Now, the Seahawks look good. They dressed better. Boy, those Bronco uniforms stink. But the Seahawks wore their old uniforms. They were great. And Geno Smith, not good. Just typical average suckbag Geno Smith. And that's all you need. Just suckbag Geno better than Bo Nix. So a deflating beginning for Bo Nix, but you got to go through this, and there will be better days. And if they're not better days, then you just cut bait and draft somebody else next year and do it all over again. And the Broncos will. They will absolutely have to do that if Bo Nix does not show signs of improvement. But it is a la one game. But we do the show today, and we have to give commentary today, and we don't wait till week 2. We have to do the show right now, and we'll see how things go. Broncos, if you look ahead in week number 2, they have the Steelers. Good luck on that. I'm sure Bo Nix will do much better against the Steelers defense. What could possibly go wrong with that particular game?